football lovers, welcome to Fluid Podcast, episode 23. My name is Ahis Anthony, and I am not left out. I'm here with my fellow podcasters. It's a full house today, and I think I'll just let them introduce themselves, starting from the only lady in the house. Let's go.
Hi guys, it's Samiat, and it's good to be back on the podcast again this week.
Great.
Hello everyone, Sunday's here again. It's good to be back here.
Hello guys, this is Mykah. It's good to be back again. Let's talk football.
Yes, so we will be talking football. You know, our focus is the EPL. With all due respect to the other European leagues, but I think EPL has a lot of traction, so we've decided to follow the EPL. So we'll be reviewing game week 34 and week 35. So Man United seems to be in an unstoppable form. Mason Greenwood scoring in every game, being tagged the next Robin Van Persie. We know Robin Van Persie to be an Arsenal legend or an Arsenal faithful. He crossed to the other side to Manchester United and he won the EPL after waiting on Arsenal. Man United could only give him that. So bad in Arsenal. But moving on, we'll be looking at Chelsea's performance in week 34 and week 35. And also we'll be critically looking at Arsenal's performance. Manchester United, as at this time this podcast is holding or has been recorded, are yet to play their week 35 match against Southampton at Old Trafford. But we know that it's a given. We know what that is going to be because Manchester United are in an unstoppable form. Is that coming from me? Damn. But I just have to give respect to whom respect is due. It's so painful, but I just have to do that. So guys, we'll take it up from there. What you take? Where do we start from? Do you start from Chelsea? Start from Manchester United? Start from Arsenal?
Let's do Chelsea. Let's do Chelsea once and for all.
Okay. Yes.
It's the band-aid of once and for all.
Exactly, once and for all.
Okay, Mykah. Let's just take it easy. It's just a game. Do you understand? In our previous podcast, in our last podcast, we did a prediction like, are these guys setting the precedents for next season? Are they building the foundation, setting the blueprint for next season? What is it like? Is Chelsea on the road to competing for next season? Is Manchester United on the road to compete for the EPL next season? And also Arsenal, because we know Liverpool, Manchester City, they are way ahead of these other guys. But what we analyzed last week was, are these other three guys that we've called, with all due respect to Leicester City, Wolves and Sheffield United, we are just looking at, because they are big clubs, they have a large fan base around the world. Even from where we're doing this podcast, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, they own a massive share of fans down here in Nigeria and also Africa as a whole. So that's why we're looking at these three themes. But I mentioned last week, Chelsea's performance looks like a yo-yo performance. You win today, lose tomorrow, and you win your next game. Looking at their performance against Watford, I think they won 3-0. Great performance. They took out Watford. And that's the week 34 result. And week 35, they lost woefully to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. It seems that their jersey is
a blessing and a curse.
Is a blessing. Because they lost 3-2 to West Ham, won 3-0 against Watford, now lost 3-0 against Sheffield. So there seems to be three in the mix. Win 3, lose by 3. So let's just critique Chelsea's performance. And I would like to ask that question while we're critiquing or looking at the performance in week 34 and week 35 games. Did we jump before the gun, or were we too fast to say Chelsea is building for next season, or Lampard is building the blueprint for next season? In our last podcast, were we too forward in doing that? Seeing their performance against Sheffield United, it was woeful. It was shambolic. It was abysmal. Give me all the words I can use to define it. Samiat, let's start. Are we?
There's an
Let's say
entanglement.
so.
Yeah. So did we? Entanglement. Yeah. Were we too forward?
I like that.
Were we too forward in the sense that we said, or we're seeing Lampard as providing the blueprints for next season to compete?
No, I don't think we were. I think we're on point. The team he has right now is there are going to be some changes in the transfer window, and we're going to see we have already started seeing some positive signings, and I think it's going to work on their defense. Then they'll work on their defense and their midfield. They'll see where the issues are. I think it's still on track. Not perfect yet, but it's still on track.
Sunday.
Oh man, it's pretty much, it's almost too easy to know that Chelsea's problem is in defense. They just need to fix that defense. They're a very good team going forward. They have a workhorse of midfielders. Their midfielders are very energetic. They put in great shift every time they play, at least from this side, I'm seeing them. And their forward, of course, amongst the best in the league. But that defense can cost you games. This has been the thing with Lampard that I saw it from when he was in Derby and he came to Chelsea doing the same thing. That defense is his problem, and as soon as he can sort it out, I believe they should be good.
Mykah.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. Realize that yes, as regards next season, Lampard is on track. If he actually wants to Man City and be the Man City and Liverpool's of next season, he would actually have to work on his game. That's actually, as Tony said earlier, in Derby he actually conceded goals, and he's doing the same thing in his first season in Chelsea. That would have to be addressed, else everybody will take advantage of that. So yes, building for next season, he's on track, but his defense has to be sorted out.
Okay, so looking at Chelsea's performance against Watford, we saw that's week 34. We saw great performance by Pulisic, the Captain America. Giroud had a goal. The first goal was a bit. Was it Watford or Crystal Palace? Sorry, I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up. I'm so sorry. Apologies for that. Yeah, that's 3-2. Yeah, 3-2. The first goal was a controversial one. Everybody thought Willian should have, played, fair play, because Cahill pulled his hamstring and they went on to score. But we saw what happened as the game went by. Crystal Palace would have nicked a draw. Last gaps header that hit the crossbar and came back.
Almighty Zuma.
Yeah, and the tackle from Zuma that prevented Benteke. Benteke was slow there though. That prevented Benteke from equalizing. All this in the mix, all this elements here and there, all this way of performance from Chelsea. Tunde mentioned defense. He saw the traits too while Lampard was at Derby. But we've seen them in the transfer window. They've started already. They're buying players and they're concentrated more on the attack end of
attack.
You're on
you
attack.
Should be focusing on defense at this point.
Yeah. So
I don't know why they're trying to buy Kai Havertz at this point. I don't know why, because you already got Ziyech, you got Timo Werner. Why are you trying to get Kai Havertz again? Why not go for a defender? Chelsea may not want to admit it, but this is a time where they need a player like Nathan Ake. Try to get him back. Bournemouth are likely going to be relegated. Try to get him back, even though Bournemouth is leading at this point. But not relegated. Get him back.
Can I address that? When it comes to Nathan Ake, we have a buyback clause, but because of the relegation battle in which they are contesting presently, if Bournemouth should be relegated, we have an upper hand beating our transfer, the transfer clause we have on him. So that is why we've not heard anything regarding defense, because we have that on track. That is for Nitanaki. Then regarding the one for Kai Havertz, well, I if you look at Lampard and the structure he plays, the structure of his football, he wouldn't want to rely on very injury-prone players to be able to create chances. Because what we lack presently in Chelsea are players who don't create.
They lost to Lazard last season.
They lost to Lazard last season. Hazard handled it as an individual last season. So that is kind of thing we lack this season. So he wants to have options. Throughout this season, those who play the position where Kai Havertz plays, we are all injured. The likes of Loftus-Cheek, who spent a year out. Ross Barclays off and on. The rest are off and on. So I see why he won't have that. Which present, if you ask me, I'll tell you, well, he's the manager. Decide on that. But personally, as a fan,
question. If Arsenal should go put 80 million on Nathan Ake, because Arsenal also need defender. If they go put 80 million on Nathan Ake, is Chelsea going to match that? Because with the buyback clause, you need to be able to provide.
They won't match that. All they will do is just pay for.
Yeah, Mykah, you can answer the question today just mentioned. Imagine if Arsenal putting 80 million on Nathan Ake. Is that not where Chelsea is meant to be focusing on reinforcing rather than buying attacking-minded players?
Well, as it stands with Nathan Ake, we have a first buy back option, and we also have a buyback clause on him. So if Arsenal is dropping 80 million, it's just 80 million to push the transfer. We are going to pick up Nathan Ake if we are going for him for 40 million, and that's it, because that's his buyback clause. First option is Chelsea, and they'll take advantage of that. So what I feel like, what one of a Chelsea pundit was saying online some weeks back regarding the defense, he analyzed the whole thing and said that he feels Chelsea is actually waiting to see the result at the end of the season to be able to pounce on Ake because of Bournemouth, if they are going to survive the relegation battle.
Okay.
If they are not going to survive, then the price that they have for 40 million would actually drop to at least 20-30 million. So it's also good business for Chelsea if they are going in that route.
Okay.
So I believe.
But I think the consensus here is Chelsea should be looking at as in reinforcing the defense, because their display against Crystal Palace could have nicked a win, because Crystal Palace too, the defense too was a bit drabby and shabby. So the goals they considered against Chelsea, a more tighter team, a more economic and effective team, would have made it difficult for Chelsea to even nicking a goal or nicking another goal after that first goal, which we saw. Let's move straight to the week 35 game against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. We saw what happened at that match. Sheffield United, it seems it's difficult to go to Sheffield United and nick a win. Even in the league this season, they've won Tottenham, they've won Arsenal, they've won Chelsea. Credit needs to go to Chris Wilder's team. At first, after the coronavirus pandemic, when the EPL resumed, they struggled a bit, but now they found form, and it was an impressive win over Chelsea. So let's look at that match. Chelsea, what are we going to say was Chelsea's performance at that match yesterday at the Bramall Lane against Sheffield United? Samiet?
Yeah, the match yesterday, it still falls back to the defense, and Tammy Abraham was not, how would I say it? Was not very, what's the word? Was not very agile yesterday. He was not very active. I think Lampard should have started Roy think he should have started Jurel. Tammy was not fit at all yesterday. And I didn't think the Chelsea attack, they didn't even give Dean Henderson any trouble yesterday. It was just a well composed Chelsea side. They took on them and they got their win and they went on.
Yeah. So yesterday's Chelsea's performance just brought back the first game of the season, Chelsea Man United. Chelsea attack, no real threat, and the more clinical attacking team took the victory. And again, it all bounces back to the defense for Chelsea. That it needs to be sorted out this summer. It has to be sorted out this summer if they are to compete against the big boys next season. Because if you're conceding that many goals, next season is going to be very competitive and challenging. Apart from the fact that Liverpool are going to do their thing, we know that Man City are going to try to do something for Pep's last season as it looks. Man United is being reinvigorated. Mourinho in his second season tries to do something here and there. So, and of course Arsenal. So he would need to sort out that defense real quick before the season starts again.
Yeah, Mykah.
They've all said the whole thing. As it stands presently, Chelsea's game against Sheffield was shambolic. It was something I couldn't behold. If you check my tweets yesterday, I said the game had actually ended before it started. When I saw the lineup, I saw Tammy Abraham, who had scored one goal in the last 11 games for a striker, and you had a Giroud that had scored 5 goals in 7 games. Why would you bring in Tammy to come and start? That was the question I asked myself.
Could it be him trying to change tactics because Sheffield United, their style
is the same tactics we moved with. It's the same thing we moved on with. We moved on with the same thing. He tried to bring in something, but if you're bringing in Tammy is not physically able to handle the Sheffield
defense. Yeah, the back three.
Yes.
Yeah, Tammy is more of a tapping.
Sure, you get. He's more of a flexible kind of player. With Giroud there, the moment Giroud came into that game, we saw the possession Chelsea had and the attempts they were able to make. I don't know if you get me, but prior to that, they were not getting chances. As Samuel said earlier, Henderson was actually having more like he was in the beach, enjoying himself. There was no attempt, no threats, no goal threats. And we played all our football in the center of the pitch. I don't know if you get me. No cutting edge, no nothing. So if we are going to, Lampard made the mistake himself. Personally, if I was supposed to bring up my lineup for that game, I would do what Sheffield United did. Their guy, what's his name? Rodri, the guy who had 2 goals yesterday, had not scored a Premier League goal
since December.
Season.
Yeah, I think
He has not even
December.
been playing. I don't think
I don't know if you get me.
for them a while.
He has not been doing that, and it is against Chelsea. He was able to nick 2.
Yeah,
the same thing happened the last game. Benteke had not scored in God knows how many years.
Yeah, and he was able to score against Chelsea.
I
think another problem I saw was with Jorginho. Jorginho was just being out-muzzled. It was just being shoved up the ball. It was so lightweight. I think that's another area where Chelsea needs to find a cover for, because Jorginho, with that style of play that Lampard is trying to bring in as the anchor man, they were just winning the balls from him yesterday. It was just too easy for Sheffield United.
It's also part of it too, because if you look at Jorginho since the restart, that's the first start Jorginho has had in any of our games. Sure, you understand.
Yeah.
So I think it is because of the injuries we have with Kante. Kante was injured. Billy Gilmore is out.
Gilmore is injured.
Yeah.
Billy Gilmore is out for 4 good months. Kovacic, who would have been an option, is also injured.
Yeah.
He was on the bench, but he was not used, all because of his injury. So in that position, the only person we had there was Jorginho, and we saw how very, very unreliable it was yesterday.
So looking at the stats, Chelsea had conceded 8 goals in the last 3 games.
Terrible.
I mean, the last 4 games. Sorry, 3 against West Ham, 2 against Crystal Palace, and 3 against Sheffield United. I think the one Watford 3-0. So 8 goals for a team who wants to compete next season. And for me, the reason I had to do a rethink for the podcast we had last week, that Hope went too fast or went too quick to say Chelsea or Lampard is building a blueprint to compete next season, because look at the level of teams that he had considered these goals from. With all due respect to these teams, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Sheffield United, and going against the big boys. If you keep considering like this with the smaller boys, what happens when you meet the big boys? The guys in the top parts of the table. What do you guys think?
It's going to be a feast.
What do you mean it's going to be?
Oh God! No, Samia, don't do this.
You see, buffet. It's going to be a buffet next season.
Actually, it's true. You have to serve yourself. It's more like when you remember when Man U was doing bonuses sometime early this season or last season, where we are giving bonuses. It's going to be worse than that, because if Chelsea, as it stands presently, and our goal difference is 14 after 35 matches, I don't know what. If you've seen Chelsea in the past 10 years, I don't think we have done this. 14. It's amazing. When I mean amazing, it's terribly amazing. Well, I don't know what to say about that.
Well,
we just have to work on that.
Well, that's football for you, because you really can't say. We really can't say. Next season starts. Zuma, what's his name? The German guy. Rudiger. They pick amazing form. They turn into a colossus in Chelsea's defense. What's his name? His name is skips.
Arrizabalaga.
No, not the goalkeeper. The right fullback, the captain. Azpilicueta. You know, Alonso. You know, they could just pick up that form next season. We're not saying it's possible, but like we know, Lampard has his work cut out for him. If he really wants to compete next season, that defense needs to be sorted out. We all agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It needs to be sorted out. So we'll move on straight. I think that pushes Sheffield United's push for European appearance as Europa League. I think that they have 54 points in the 7th position, and 1 point behind Wolves, who also won against Everton comprehensively today. They lost the week 34. Week 34 fixture. What did they lose? They lost to who again?
I think Sheffield 1-0.
Yeah, Sheffield won. Same Sheffield.
Yes.
Wolverhampton.
Same
Sheffield. So 6 points from the guys you're contesting with in that European spot.
Leicester is doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, newsflash, losing 4-1 right now.
Is Leicester doing the Lord's work, or Bournemouth is doing the Lord's work?
No,
Bournemouth is doing the Lord's work.
Bournemouth is doing the Lord's work, exactly.
You know, it's just tipsy-turvy. Imagine Leicester going to Bournemouth losing 4-1. Who could ever see that coming? So, you know, of which we're still going to come back to discuss the race for the top 4, the race for the Europa League spot. We're still going to come and discuss that. So let's just quickly move on to Arsenal. Arsenal, they always come into the news. 1-1 against Leicester City. We saw what happened. They took control of that game. Perfect control. Lost a lot of chances. They could have nicked, or they could have wrapped up that game in the first half. Lacazette, you know, losing opportunities. Saka too, Aubameyang too. Quality saves from Mykah, because he kept Leicester City in the game. Because Leicester City could have been down like 3 or 4. I think they had chances too in the first half that fell to our Nigerian guy. What's his name? Iheanacho. He had a lovely chance to put Leicester City in front in the first half. They had a goal cancelled because it was offside position VAR, and we saw what happened at the 70th minute. Nketiah being on for 100 seconds, he got booked, red card. A lot of people felt it was a bit harsh because Vardy too should have gotten a red card in that game due to the challenge he made on Mustafi. But a lot of controversy. What was your take on the game? Arsenal Leicester City 1-1, sharing the spoils, 1 point each. Samis?
Yeah, it could have gone either way, I think. But Arsenal had more. They had more chances. They had more opportunities. I was actually rooting for them to win, but sadly, it was a draw, and I think Leicester fought for the point. So yeah, they fought for the point, and they were steady with it. So it was fair.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way, like Sammy had said. I guess for me, in games that look like Arsenal could just take advantage, they somehow always just turn it around, just surrender it. Surrender possession, surrender a comfortable win, that a game that they could easily win, just surrender it. So I don't know.
Yeah, we saw what happened in that match. Mykah, your take, please.
Yeah, the game was either way. Actually, the only difference between the Arsenal and Leicester City game was the fact that Leicester City didn't want to leave without a point. So there was this hunger they had. If you look at the typical Arsenal, they are only good at keeping possessions. But keeping possessions, yeah, they lost chances. They had opportunities they would have made use of, but didn't use that. And Leicester City came in calling. They were very hungry to make the point because they know what's at stake. At the long run, they were able to pick up a point, which was actually very good for them.
But don't you guys think the game turned around when that red card came in, as in when Nketiah got the red card? Yeah.
Definitely.
Because
every red card affects every team.
Yeah, to be fair on Arsenal, because they took Leicester City where they wanted to have them, where they wanted them to be. They
were boxed.
Yeah, and that red card just turned the game around and gave Leicester City the impetus. Even at the second half, Leicester City were trying to come back, even with 11-11. You could see the substitution Brendan Rodgers made when he brought in the number 15. That guy, I keep forgetting his name, the young guy, Barnes. Yeah, when he brought him in, you could see they stretched Arsenal. They stretched Arsenal a bit, trying to come in from the wings. And Arsenal, though, were a bit stable because they too had chances. And I think that red card just turned the game upside down for Arsenal. And Leicester City just took advantage. But controversy in that game, was that a red card?
It was a red card, in my opinion.
It was a red card?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Samuels, was that a red card?
Yeah, it was a red card.
Okay, maybe today. But today still. Okay, but we just continue. But we saw it was impressive. 1-1. That still gave Leicester City that impetus, thinking they can still sneak in that top four. But with what we're seeing at the moment while this podcast is going on, they are losing 4-1. I think the game is over. Bournemouth defeating Leicester City 4-1. Who saw that coming? So Manchester United is just a point behind Leicester City. So if Manchester United wins,
the table hasn't changed.
Yes.
Manchester United, please.
Yeah. So if Manchester
United win now, we go straight to third place. Yeah.
Third position. I think it favors Chelsea. This defeat to Leicester City favors Chelsea. It really favors Chelsea.
It favors every one of us who are struggling for that point.
Yeah, it favors.
Let's not just everybody's.
Yeah.
Man City now, Man United, wherever they are now, they will if not because some of us are here engaged in the podcast. Some people will be rejoicing wherever they are.
Yeah.
So it's more like good news to all of us on that
Just
strongly
play
for that
tomorrow
spot.
first. Too.
Well, I just
Let
feel
Ole not go and start Lingard for us tomorrow.
I just feel it. I just feel it favors Chelsea really, because if Manchester United wins tomorrow, Chelsea is still in the top 4. Except only Manchester United acts to be Manchester United tomorrow by starting Lingard, as Samuel just mentioned, and dropping points. That is when.
Ole will not even there.
Yeah, so we
We
go.
don't want to die.
Yeah, so we go straight to Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal today, the London derby. Same against Leicester City, same performance. For me, from the onset, imagine if Tottenham had their fans in the stadium. It could have been worse for Arsenal, because Arsenal didn't start. It's more like 100 meters. If you don't start well from the blocks, you might not win. Arsenal didn't really start well. Tottenham were poor today. Though Mourinho was able to manage, do his. I think experience was what happened today. Thought Mourinho just showed he was more experienced than Arteta, and he was able to manage the game. Was able to sit back, and he was just hoping for that miracle. And that miracle happened through that corner kick. It wasn't as if Tottenham were that fantastic today. Arsenal too lost some chances. Aubameyang should have put Arsenal ahead 2 or 3 goals ahead. But Lloris too was wonderful. But I'll just leave the rest for you guys to analyze. What do you guys say about that match today?
I think it was Mourinho being was Mourinho being Mourinho. I think he needed to win this match, prove a point or something. So Arsenal was in the game, but I think they were a bit unlucky. It was not that one-sided. I think they just didn't have luck on their side, and Mourinho came out on top. So good point.
That's why I said same like the Leicester City game. You had the opportunity to kill your team when you need to kill them, but just go south. Chimamaka.
Yeah, Mourinho had to prove his point. He has a very wonderful record against us now. So he's actually not taking advantage of the restart. He has lost how many matches since the restart? I think 2 or 3, and it's not been good. Now he has a derby that he has to win. Let's not forget in London, there's this battle for supremacy, especially against Arsenal and Spurs. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Yes, Chelsea also doesn't like Spurs, but the bitterness is more with Arsenal and Spurs. So Mourinho just had to come and prove a point. And luckily for him, at the 80th minute, otherwise maybe 2-1. Mourinho would definitely seal it. Then he sealed the whole thing there.
But I think looking at Tottenham, I think Tottenham, they need to refresh. They need to hit that refresh button, because if Mourinho thinks he can go into the new season with this set of players, I am so sorry, he might not be part of the big guys contesting. Because imagine if he was playing against a more experienced coach today, of which I don't fault that in Arteta. It's a good learning curve. For me as an Arsenal fan, I've counted this season off. I wouldn't even want Arsenal to qualify for any European spot this season. More like Chelsea did in 2015-2016 when they didn't qualify for Europe. Burton Conte, he rejigged, the whole entire team, and you saw Chelsea, they contested and they won the league the following season. Same thing I want for Arsenal. For me, this is a big learning curve for Arteta, whether we like it or not. Because if he had that experience, he would have nicked this game, because the game was there for the taking. So that's what I'm saying for Mourinho. If he keeps to this set of players without adding, or he still wants to continue, he might be doomed for Tottenham next season. I don't know if you guys see my point.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. This set of players who are playing presently are Pochettino's players. So I believe Mourinho should be given the opportunity to bring in his own players. The only player I know he brought in was this Belgian guy. This guy who played in Netherlands.
The Dutch guy.
Berwig. Yeah, is it Dutch? Berwig or something.
Yeah.
He's very fast player. That was the only person I think he has actually brought in. Then he gave Lo Celso opportunity to play football, which he hasn't been playing before. So I think that Daniel Levy would be able to bring out money for Jose Mourinho to bring in his own kind of players. Else, if that is not happening with the COVID-19 in place and teams being very scared to invest or build their team up, and Mourinho goes in next season with this set of players, well, I wouldn't be saying anything about Europe concerning Tottenham, except Mourinho has some different option for them. But Europe, I don't even see them. I think they will just retain the 8th position they are in presently.
Sam, yet?
That's my take.
It's going to take a while for him to build the team, but he has to start building the team to his own taste. He has to start building. I don't know how they want to do with the whole investment and all of that, but he needs fresh legs. He needs his own kind of player that works with his own tactics and all of that. So he definitely needs fresh legs if he wants to compete for Europe next season.
Yeah, and in the post-match press conference, Arteta said Arsenal handed Spurs the win, and Mourinho says beating rivals Arsenal mean the world. So it looks like winning a trophy today for Mourinho, like Mykah mentioned. There's always this bite to whenever Mourinho faces Arsenal. Or do we think what Arteta said? Do you think what Arteta said was right? Arsenal handed Spurs the win? Because looking at when Arsenal
did their bits.
But they didn't hand them. The win.
No. To be fair on Arsenal, come on, look at that goal Tottenham scored. It was a miscommunication between the defense. If Arsenal had built on that first goal that they scored, did you guys see Tottenham coming back into that match? It's because it was a tall order. It was going to be a tall order for Tottenham. It was going to be a tall order because shortly after Arsenal scored that goal, it was 137 seconds. The mispass from Kolasinac and Lewis gave Tottenham that goal. And looking at that match, it was drabby from Tottenham. I was disappointed because I wanted Tottenham to come out and play more since they were the home side. But I think Arsenal took control of the game. The corner kick came, poor defending, and that was it.
Like I said earlier, when it comes to Tottenham, Arsenal, and as it stands, we have Jose Mourinho as the Tottenham manager. There is a different vibe entirely. I want you to get that. Mourinho can rejoice at losing to any other team, but when it comes to Arsenal, it's a different ball game. It's like he brings on his A game. He brings in everything. He has assassins who are going to come and carry out the job. Just all he's after is bring me the 3 points. I'm not interested in how you're going to do it. Just bring it.
Well,
bring
true.
it in.
True.
And with what happened today? Arsenal, well, I wouldn't say they are giving in goals. No, they are not giving in goals like Chelsea is doing. But they still have to address their defense.
So the defense is...
Their defense have...
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
It actually needs to be addressed.
True.
That's the truth.
True.
They are way better than the Chelsea defense as it stands. But if they are looking at playing in Europe for next season, as in qualifying for Europe next season...
I don't say Arsenal qualifying for
defense...
Europe. I didn't say Arsenal.
We can't say. We can't say.
No, not this season.
No, not this season. I said next season.
Okay.
If they're going to, that's what they'll have to fight for. When I mean Europe, I mean either the Champions League spot or the Europa League. I don't want to. I believe they can work against sitting on the position where they are in now, which is 9th position. The Arsenal we've known in the past 20 years. In the past 20 years, are a top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 team. I don't know if you get me.
Yep.
So if actually they really want to play in Europe next season, some things have to be addressed. First is their defense. That defense is not like they have experienced defenders. What I know Arsenal lacks in the defense is communication. They don't have that communication, and it's what kills them. If you compare their defense to Chelsea's defense is they don't even have communication, neither did they have experience. Arsenal's defense have communication, but they have experience and don't have communication. I don't know if you understand. So Arsenal needs to actually address that. Then in their midfield, there's this problem that Arsenal has in their midfield that most of we football analysts overlook, and is the fact that your attack line, that is your strikers, are the one more effective in the midfield than even your midfield.
Yeah, I think he would look into that area as well. He's looking at addressing that area as well in terms of bringing in new legs.
New legs in the midfield. It is needed.
Because
you're going to keep
the guy he's using currently, which is Ceballos, he said he's going back after his loan deal. They only extended his loan deal. He doesn't want to stay. So that leaves him with Ozil as the only creative midfielder, and Ozil with the whole baggage he carries in that team, the whole problem here and there. I think they'll want to let him off as well next season. I see a total overhaul. I see Arsenal rebuilding for one season. Like I said, it's not a bad idea. If you don't qualify for any European competition next season, sit back, rebuild, plan based on what you have been able to achieve thus far ever since Arteta came in. And I think 2 seasons they should be better off. They should be better off than this.
Yeah.
Than this.
I agree with you.
Tamiet, you have anything to want to add?
No.
Okay, so we just move on straight to Manchester United. Manchester United, impressive. Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes keep scoring. I think he won the Barclays Premier League Player of the Month. Yep, yeah. And two consecutive awards for him ever since he joined Manchester United. It seems to be that spark that Ole has been looking for all this while. And Samet is a Manchester United fan here. So, impressive performances Aston Villa. There was also a controversial moment there. Bruno Fernandes and the Aston Villa defender, which the referee adjudged penalty, and he didn't even bother to want to check. The VAR told him penalty, and he didn't even want to double check. So as a Manchester United fan, what's your take? Was that because before that incident, Aston Villa kept pushing. Manchester United too didn't start off the blocks well in that match. They were a bit drabby as well. Aston Villa were on the ascendance. They were the one dictating. And once that penalty was given, I think it just took the sail off took the wind off their sail. And Manchester United, they smelt the blood and they went for the kill straight up. So as a Manchester United fan, can you just analyze the game for us? Starting from the penalty.
Yeah. The penalty was not a penalty. I saw it. It was not a penalty, but we got lucky, I guess. And from there on, it was just fire on. And we have seen the magic from the attack since the reboot, and it's just been amazing. We've seen Greenwood is here to prove a point that I'm here to stay, guys. Not going anywhere, and he's proving the point quite well. Dangerous with both legs. Nobody is safe, and it's been wonderful. It's been fantastic, and we saw Pogba too. He was on the score line too.
He was on score sheet,
It's just good to see the midfield and the attacking magic right now. It's really good to.
Yeah. Crazy guys, man.
It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while. We saw this with Manchester United.
It's been a while.
Mykah.
My take on it, as Samuel said, the penalty was not needed. It actually wasn't a penalty. So I'm happy it actually came from a Manchester United fan who actually agreed with that. But if you remember the first leg against Aston Villa won the game, if you remember. The first leg, Jack Grealish's goal was the decider in that game. And they actually started off well, but the penalty brought the whole thing to a halt.
True.
Or it brought the whole thing to a halt. They were the better team. They were the better team in the first period. But the moment the penalty came in, it's just like an open door to more goals, and they took advantage. for crying out loud, we know that Manchester United has a very lovely midfield as it stands.
Yes.
And they have somebody who was just baptized in Mason Greenwood, who comes in and wreaks havoc and he goes back. So there is just a wonderful team to always watch. That is this period. I hope something. Okay, I don't pray wrong prayers for them. I hope something better comes.
Yeah, it's a pity Tune stepped out of the podcast because he had to attend to his baby. We had his baby crying. I hope he joins us as a podcast before we round up. But talking about Mason Greenwood, wonderful kid, 16 goals thus far in the entire season in all competition, 9 goals in the Premier League, 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the EFL Cup, 5 goals in Europa League, and he has 16 goals. He has even scored more goals than Firmino in the entire season in the Premier League. Firmino has 8 goals. Mason Greenwood has 9 goals. Are we going to say that Mason Greenwood is just a flash in the pan? Are we fit to say that? Because, like we mentioned, when the whole light turns out, will he be able to handle the pressure? I know he has been touted, or he has been really what's the word? He has been given good recommendations. I even heard that in United Youth team, he comes way highly recommended than Rashford. Samiat, am I right?
Yes.
So, he's still a young kid, 18 years old. Are we fit to say that, or is it right for us to say that Mason Greenwood could be a flash in the pan, just one season wonder, and after we don't see him? Are we fit to say that?
I don't think so. Mason looks very hungry. He wants it. He plays for the love of the game. He plays because he wants it. I think we are going to see more of Mason next season. We are going to see more of his wonders next season. I don't think he's just. I've seen opposition team talk about him being a one season wonder and all of that, but you can see the quality in the player. You can see it, and he's somebody that goes for it and he wants it. He's very hungry. I think those qualities will drive him through next season. I hope he gets more playing chances. And the way it's going now, if Mason keeps pulling up these performances, there's going to be problem for Mykah and the likes and Rashford next season. If he keeps pulling this kind of performance.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be
I totally agree with you. I agree with you. If you remember when Marshall started, Marshall had this, Rashford. He had this same hunger. Then we were like, who is this kid? It was Mourinho that gave him the chance to play, right?
Yeah.
If I remember. He had this different hunger. Yes. Marshall wasn't performing, and he decided to go to the academy to bring in Rashford. And Rashford I can remember the game he played, that he had an exam the next night. I think was it a Champions League game? I can't remember. But that was how good Marshall was. The hunger was there, and he started performing.
Rashford, you meant?
Then he got a very big contract. Yeah, Rashford, yes. Then he started performing. Then the contract came in. The amount he signed was a huge amount. I don't know if you understand. Then before you know anything, he became the picture boy for Manchester United. Then injuries came in, injuries set in. His performance started becoming shaky. Before I don't know if you understand.
He was doing well before the injury, yes.
Yeah, he was doing well before the injury, but you know what comes with an injury. You need time. You need more time. Yeah, exactly. You need more time. So now Mason Greenwood has been given the opportunity to perform, and as we all know, as we've all been seeing, the guy is taking advantages more than even Rashford did. This is a kid who has had consecutive goals in how many games already? And as we are talking, how old is Mason Greenwood?
He's 18.
He played more in he's 18.
Yeah.
He played more in Europa League and club cup games than in the Premier League.
Yeah, he has 9 goals in the Premier League. He has 9 goals.
He has 9 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, more than Robin Firmino. Yeah,
he has 8. There you get. And if you're going to look at both of them, will you tell me that as it is presently, Mason Greenwood is supposed to have more goals than Firmino, who has more game time than Greenwood? So you look at this young man. He he wants to have a starting shirt.
Yeah.
Which means there's going to be competition in the attack line come next season. And when I mean competition, I mean serious competition.
But looking at technicality, I've seen the way Ole has deployed Mason Greenwood in his formation. He comes in from the right, and at times when Manchester United is switch formation, at times you see he drifts into the middle with Martial playing behind Martial. Yes, but his favorite position, like we all know, is that central striker number 9.
Yeah.
You know, he has the Robin van Persie stature, moves, build, figure. Do you think Ole will be able to put him in that position that he really wants to play? Because we know what comes with this in football. When a player wants to play a certain position and the coach is not playing him in that position, yes, the goal keeps scoring, the goals keeps coming. But do you think he will still be motivated? And would Ole still want to put that responsibility of Mason Greenwood starting next season, playing as the number 9 striker for Manchester United?
I think it's way too early for that. He wants it. He has to prove that he can do it. It's just way too early for that. It's too much responsibility for him, I think. For now, I think it's just still okay. He starts on the right. Let's see what he does next season. Then we can start having this conversation. But for now, I think it's just way too much responsibility.
Okay.
Well, if you be saying that, as you said, the number 9 position is not a joke. Right? If you remember when Mourinho was still the coach of Manchester United, that's what this guy requested for Martial, and he wasn't getting. Now, when he decided to put Martial, the Martial was flopping. Now, Mason Greenwood playing on the right. Actually, he has been deployed more on the right of the attack.
Yeah.
And he has been able to perform, except when he decided to switch positions where he plays behind Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
Still in that position, he performs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've seen 2 different positions wherein he has delivered. If he's given that number 9 position and he plays 10 good matches and he can deliver 5 goals, I can tell you categorically that they will stick with him there. Why? Because he's delivering.
Mm-hmm.
The hunger of every striker or every attacker is to bring in goals, match in every match or anytime they are called upon. So if he's going to be delivering these goals, I believe he will cement his place up there. So yeah. I wouldn't say it is too early to give him that chance. If he's given the chance and he utilizes it very well, like the likes of when Michael Owen did that. Michael Owen, how old was Owen? Owen was 17.
Yeah, 17, yeah.
And he took advantage. I just feel with the whole English press vibe and all of that, I just think Mason has a lot of maturing to do. I wouldn't like it to be rushed.
For him to be rushed, exactly.
But if what vibe and all of that, if he's been given, he looks like somebody that would deliver. He plays like somebody that would deliver, but just the pressure and all of that. Then at the end of the day, it just become another big name that started well, and where is it now?
Because it starts this season. Looking at the start this season, 42 appearances in all competition, and he has 16 goals. That's
good. It's impressive.
That's quite for a first. Apparently, this is not his first season. He was part
first full season.
Yeah. Yes, so he has been very, very impressive. You know, I always try to look at the formation, technical side of things in football. So imagine Manchester United. Their fixtures this past few games have been, to be sincere, the fixtures have been easy, kind of. The only team that they've played was Tottenham, which they drew. They came back to draw that match away from home. But looking at the other,
play Sheffield now.
Sheffield United. What ended the game?
They won.
We won Sheffield
at home.
They beat Sheffield
at
Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford. So we knew when Sheffield came back they were not that top. Okay, so let's take out Sheffield and Tottenham out of.
We are not taking out Chelsea. We can ask Chelsea. Chelsea, can we take out?
No,
You can't take out Sheffield. You
no,
can't take out
okay,
Sheffield
okay.
as it is.
Because the point I'm trying to make is, like they say, style win you games as a coach. Imagine a situation where Manchester United faces a team that they attack from their wings. Manchester City, Arsenal, like the way they play now, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood might be ineffective in such games because he would have to defend that wing. He would have, since you're playing him on the right, he would have to always track back to support whoever is playing, which is Wan-Bissaka. If you're playing against team that play high and presses high, play from the top and use wing backs. So that's why I'm saying it's not really a bad idea if you play him in his preferred number 9 role, because with his figure, he has this Van Persie's, look that, when Van Persie was Van Persie, any opportunity you give to Van Persie in that box, he takes it. And the good thing about this guy is he uses both foot, the right foot and the left foot. Both feet. You can't even know where he's going to strike from. So I am of the opinion, if he seeks to want to play that number 9 role, Ole should use him. Look at the opposition that you're playing and try to switch your tactics based on the position you're playing. Like against Southampton tomorrow, I would like to see how Ole would want to utilize Mason Greenwood, because most Southampton, they play from the wings. Most of their games come from the wings, and I would like to see Mason Greenwood being put to that test, where we'll be able to run back and forth to support whoever is on that right side. That's if Ole deploys him on the right side. But the good thing is, this is a good thing for Ole, because Ole discovered him. Can we say Ole discovered him?
Yeah, Ole was coaching him at the academy. So I believe he has a better idea or a better knowledge of Mason Greenwood.
So we could say this is Ole's product.
Yeah, you can. At least he has better coaching experience with Mason Greenwood.
So Samuel,
than he has with.
Are we good with that?
Yeah. Yes, he has coached him in the youth team.
Okay, so we'll just wait to see Manchester United versus Southampton tomorrow. But with Manchester United form, I think Manchester United will leak that, with all due respect to Southampton. So we just move on straight. We just look at all the results. I know we're not going to talk really much about the other results that went down. We saw, like we mentioned, Crystal Palace, Chelsea won Crystal Palace, Watford won Norwich City, Arsenal, Leicester City 1-1. Brighton over Albion lost to Liverpool. Yes, I was so happy. West Ham United lost to Burnley. Sheffield United won Wolverhampton Wanderers, which you mentioned. Manchester United 5-0 over Newcastle. And Manchester United 3-0 over Aston Villa. 1-1 Everton Southampton. Bournemouth Tottenham, they shared the spoils 0-0. And Brighton over Albion, walloped again by Manchester City. So lovely and so nice. Sheffield United won Chelsea, we mentioned that. Liverpool 1-1 with Burnley. Watford, Newcastle, Watford won 2-1. West Ham United won away at Norwich City. So that means Norwich City has been confirmed relegated for the season. So we know the champion. I think we mentioned last week that they are gone already, regardless of
Already.
So let's just go straight to looking at, just to round off the podcast, looking at positions for the European spots next season. We know first and second is sealed because Liverpool, apologies for that, Liverpool or Manchester City are going to cement that first and second position, regardless of whatever happens with the remaining 3 games, because Manchester City seems to be in form.
I'd like to cut you there. Well, it's after tomorrow we would know Manchester City's fate.
No. I'm saying as regards the first and second position. As regards the standing of the table right now, Liverpool, Man City, first and second, nobody can take them off that position. I know the issue. Yeah, for the issue. Yeah. I know the issue of Manchester City, the verdict tomorrow, July 13th. Everybody, fingers crossed for tomorrow's morning decision for Manchester City. Someone said that it seems Chelsea knows that they know the decision already. That's why they are misbehaving and losing. So Chelsea, Leicester City, Manchester United. Should we put Wolves in the mix?
Yeah, put them in the mix. 55 is not a joke. 50. In fact, put everybody on top.
Nah.
Top 8
They are 3 points away from 5th position right now. So if Manchester United wins tomorrow, they will be 4 points away from the 5th position.
Yeah, let's not forget we are talking about European competitions.
No, we're looking at Champions League first.
No, we're looking at
We're looking at Champions League first.
Okay, Champions League. All
yes,
right.
We're looking at Champions League first. So Chelsea, Leicester City, Manchester United. Who do we think is going to make it on match day 8:38?
Match day 38. I'll give to Chelsea first.
Obviously.
Yeah. Then I'll give it to. This is not a dream. I'll give it to Chelsea first because we have 3 very, very wonderful matches that we must win to retain that. So I'm actually challenging my team myself. Then I also give Manchester United that option because since the restart, Leicester City has been sliding down. I don't know if you understand. Yeah. I remember they were at about 7 points away from Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So now they are a point below Chelsea, which means they've been coming down the ladder. Then Manchester United has picked some wonderful form. They're just a point with a game at hand. So after they play that tomorrow, I don't like using the word if in this regard because we don't know what if Southampton does the Lord's work tomorrow. We can't say. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But I think Manchester United, Chelsea to nick the top 4.
Yep. Samiet.
Yeah, with the current form of Manchester United now, we should make the top 1. Chelsea, I don't think they want to slide down any. If Manchester United wins now, it's going to be a slide back for them. So I think Lampard will want to make the top 4. They want to work on that, make the top 4 regardless of however Manchester City verdict comes.
Well, for me, I'm going to pick Chelsea. I'm going to pick Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea. Chelsea making that top 4 would have to, because they still have Liverpool to play away, and they still have Wolves to play at home. Norwich City done already. That's their next match on Tuesday. They can nick that one, and it's going to be dicey. Or I want to just look at Leicester City's remaining fixture. Leicester City still have Sheffield United to play.
Am I you?
Leicester City's remaining fixtures. Their fixtures are crazy. They play Sheffield United home, play Tottenham away, and play Manchester United at home.
Oh, glory!
Wow,
brother.
You beat Liverpool first. Let's see.
That's not the problem. You don't get. Now. You know, there's some fixtures you see, and before you even start looking at them a second time, you already gone off. I don't know if you get where you have Tottenham. Mourinho is also trying to. If he has 52 points, do you know with a win against Leicester City, it will push him to the same point with Wolverhampton? I don't know. Let's look at that because he also wants to play in Champions League, in Europa League. Sheffield United are also going to do the same. So Leicester City has some serious things to do.
So looking at Manchester United's remaining fixtures, they have Southampton tomorrow. They have Chelsea. No, they have Crystal Palace on Thursday, and they have West Ham, I think, and they have Leicester City. So I think the X factor here is the Leicester City Manchester United game. That's what determines. But if
West Ham. Well,
no, I'm saying Leicester City. So if Manchester United can win tomorrow, which is Southampton, and they win West Ham United, I know West Ham United will come with all their guns because they're fighting for relegation. But we don't see Manchester United losing to West Ham at home. With all due respect to West Ham,
I can't say. I wouldn't say that.
In the form West Ham, Manchester United is right now, it will be difficult for West Ham to go there and beat them at home.
Don't forget, West Ham are also picking form.
Okay.
Let's not forget that they've been fighting relegation
battle,
and they are. They are 4 points away from relegation.
It can be deadly at this point. The relegation.
Remember Sunderland?
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm surprised Sammy is sounding this way. So you don't trust your team?
No. I'm just saying in general.
Generally, we know that.
It's just a fight for survival. Everybody wants something. Everybody is fighting for something. So there can be shocks. I know the form is there, but everybody is fighting.
For me, I'm giving it to Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea to finish in that order after week 38. That's my prediction. So now let's look at the Europa League qualification. So we have Leicester City will have to come down into that equation. Leicester City, Wolves, Sheffield United, Tottenham. As an Arsenal fan, I'm not putting Arsenal in the mix because I don't want Arsenal to qualify for any European competition next season so that they can sit down and put their house in order. I would wish, but who knows? Football can be crazy at times. So I might not put... Okay, let's put Arsenal Burnley in the mix too, because Burnley is the same point with Arsenal right now, 50-50 points. And from the 6th position is just 5 points difference.
It's still an open... Last 3 games of the season, we know how it has always been. We know how it has always been. Last 3 games, especially if you have to battle relegation teams, then it's a different ball game entirely. They bring out the assassins that they've never had in years to come and fight and destroy so many things. Now we are seeing Tottenham. They are trying to make a name for themselves in Europe. They are on 8th position and are 3 points away from an European competition. Mourinho knows how to fight all these kind of things. These are kind of challenges he likes. Mourinho was sitting on 10th before, he's on 8th. And we have 3 more games to go. Do you know what that man can pull out?
Tottenham's next fixtures: Newcastle on Wednesday away, play Leicester City on Sunday, and they play Crystal Palace. For me, this Tottenham, I don't trust this Tottenham team because they can just go and draw this. They can draw this remaining match. This remaining matches, we just go. The firepower is not there. We saw them today. They were just, it's because of Derby. Derby don't understand form. We saw what they played today against Arsenal. If Arsenal were more clinical, Arsenal would have taken them to the cleaners today. But Arsenal it remained Arsenal, same old Arsenal like they used to be. You had the opportunity to you smelt blood now, kill these people off, but you gave them those goals, cheap goals. Reason I'm not really banking on Tottenham because they can draw these remaining 3 games. Or you see them lose to Newcastle on Wednesday. See them draw Leicester City, and you now see them drawing Tottenham, Crystal Palace at the end of the last day.
Win Leicester for everybody.
Yeah. So for me, that Europa, Leicester City, does 7 make Europa?
No, it's just 5 and 6.
There used to be 3 teams in Europa now.
It was last season they did that. It now depends.
Wolves
last season, I think something happened with the there was a rule that involved the FA Cup, the winners of the FA Cup, that was going to bring in a 3rd team in the Europa.
Who won the FA Cup last season?
Who won the I think Man City won it.
Yeah, okay, because Man City
won it.
Okay. Because I know
Man
Arsenal,
City won. So I think that's
Manchester United, Arsenal, Wolves made the Europa League last season.
the Europa.
Yep.
Yes. I think that's what actually cost. That's what actually made it that way.
For me, I'm seeing
But I
less.
don't know this season. I don't know. I've not read anything. regarding the 3 teams for the Europa yet.
But for the
When that comes,
for the
we'll update that.
fifth, sixth position, I see Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United.
Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United. Okay, you're not giving Tottenham the chance?
No, I'm not. Tottenham,
Alright.
Arsenal, I'm not giving them.
All right. You are an Arsenal fans, understandable.
Sam, yes.
Yeah, if when let me not say if, when Leicester drops the seat, so that definitely. I'm being positive here, guys. I'm projecting my positivity. And I think like Anthony said, Wolves and Sheffield, they are not going to back down and give it away now. So I think they'll hold on to what they have now.
Yeah.
So Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield.
Thank you for giving my team a chance.
Except Chelsea goes and lose the remaining 3 matches and drop 9
Oh well,
points.
that's on them.
And drop 9 points. That is
Well,
the only
that's on.
that's the only
That would be
reason
tragic.
why I can give Tottenham or Arsenal a chance. If either
Bro,
if
no.
no.
Let's look up from Chelsea dreams. It's not
If-
going to happen.
I'm just saying, if either Chelsea or Leicester City lose their remaining 3 matches, that is when I can only consider Tottenham and Arsenal in the picture. Because look at what happened to Leicester City. Whoever believed they could go and lose 4-1 today? Whoever saw that coming?
I didn't even see Bournemouth scoring, and not even just seeing Bournemouth scoring. I saw Dominic Solanke scoring. Please, how many years goal drought has that guy had? I don't know if you understand. You see these guys who have been having goal droughts. My happiness is
been a comeback
that Chelsea is not
weekend.
facing Bournemouth. Sure, you understand. So guys who have had goal droughts are actually doing some things. So everybody's taking their name, man. Wow, football is wonderful.
Well, it's been nice doing this. It's been nice discussing football. I know we'll be here next week, but as the league is rounding up, I think we'll have 2 more episodes to go for this season, because we would have week 36 on Tuesday and Wednesday, then week 37 fixtures on Saturday, Sunday next week. So we'll be back here on Sunday to talk about week 36 and week 37 fixtures, and we'll wait for the final day, which is going to be the last day. So we just round up the season podcast, but we still have other episodes that will come up, and doesn't mean because the season is over we'll be for the week podcast will go on break. We might go on break, but we still have some interesting episodes to come up with. And so Sunday couldn't join us again. He had to step out to carry out fatherly duties, which is quite important. We support that on Footy Week podcast, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we do.
so we just round off with our parting shots for today's episode. Samiet, you go first.
It's always good to be on the podcast, especially when Chelsea and Arsenal are losing. It's always fun to be here. We hope to be back next week with more Chelsea and Arsenal banter. Hopefully, the dynamics of the table would have changed, so we'll have more to talk about. See you guys next week.
Mykah.
Wow. I'm short of words. Thanks, Samiat, for the roundup.
beating.
Well, it's actually very, very awesome to always be on the podcast. Very lovely to talk football with very, very lovely football-minded people, lovely analysts. So by this time next week, we'll be talking about Chelsea victories, and let me just talk of Chelsea victories and talk more football. Talk more football.
The guy can dream.
Let's talk of Chelsea. Yeah, we talk more football. That's it.
It's all good. It's all good. We'd like to thank our listeners for listening. Thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Mykah, Samiet, and Tunde as well. On behalf of the other guys that are not here today, Udoka and Chibuzo, we You're rounding off today's podcast, and we on social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, and also YouTube, and also on Google Podcast as well, and on Anchor. Follow us, like us. We would like to have you guys follow us on our social media platform. My name is Ahisa Anthony. I'll be rounding off today's podcast. It's nice having you guys. Coronavirus is real. Stay safe, stay hygienic, and be blessed. Have a nice week.